Hello and welcome. It became well known that young and ambitious company ARNA has recently announced their token pre-sale event. Here in this studio, I have an advisor to ARNA, Dr. Dmitry Kulish. Dmitry, welcome. Could you please give us a brief introduction to the concept, and then we will have a short Q&A session.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to talk about ARNA. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Dmitry Kulish. I'm a scientist by training. I've spent in molecular biology like 10 years, got my PhD in biochemistry, published several good papers, and my scientific career culminated at Harvard Medical School, where I spent 2 years as a postdoc. Then I switched to business. I got my MBA from Wharton School of Business, and during the last 15 years, I served as executive for several different companies, big pharma, Russian pharma, startups. I'm well qualified to talk about biomedical innovation, and it is a special pleasure for me to talk about ARNA because in addition to real scientific research, cutting-edge research, ARNA brings lots of social innovation. This combination is what we need today. So the whole story is quite complicated, and we'll go through it in Q&A session. Now let me tell you 3 key blocks of what's going on today. First block is ARNA GENOMICS. It is clear-cut biotechnology startup that developed very efficient and customer-friendly diagnostic test for breast cancer. It is a blood test with consumer characteristics existing everything on the market. For those who is familiar with oncology diagnostics, let me assure you that this thing is very new. It's not BRCA1, BRCA2. It is not methylation of DNA. It is not sequencing. It is proprietary technology of direct PCR, direct amplification from blood samples. And the goal of this amplification is proprietary set of oncology-related genes and DNA pieces that indicate presence of disease. So this is 100% biotechnology. The test that the company developed is called ARNA BC, ARNA breast cancer, but this is just the first step. The platform allows developing many more tests. The next test is for colon cancer, and there will be more coming later. What I enjoy most, ARNA as a team, as a group of companies, didn't stop at just biotech. They recognize the acute pain of current healthcare, that is lack of trust between patients and healthcare system. That's bitter truth, but it exists. One example that you all know is millions of people who prefer homeopathy to official medicines. Let's not discuss why it happened. It happened. These people don't believe clinical trials. They prefer to use what they believe in. So, ARNA created a tool that may join formal official healthcare and people who would like to take care about their health themselves. For this, ARNA Group created blockchain-based expert system called ARNA PANACEA. What this system does, the system collects and accumulates the entire information about certain healthcare product. In our case, it's going to be diagnostic procedure from breast cancer. And the entire information will be accumulated in the single blockchain-based database that will be distributed among hundreds of interested users. So it will be open to public scrutiny. Therefore, the magic of what ARNA does is melting cutting-edge science with a tool that will allow to bring trust into the science, both from the people who prefer to see official clinical trials, and of course ARNA Genomics is going into official clinical trials, and also people who would like to see themselves. These are exactly people who today make blockchain such a powerful technology, and we are happy to serve both parts of the market. I think that's my introduction. I would appreciate any questions to go through this complicated story.
Thank you, Dmitry. What about this token distribution event?
Oh yeah, of course. We came here today to talk about token distribution. Well, that's easy. To me, it's much more interesting to talk about what ARNA does than about these tokens. Still, it is just a crowdfunding effort on a blockchain platform. Blockchain enables lots of non-financial transactions, and this is what we do today. So, in order to achieve its ambition goals in biotech and in social infrastructure, ARNA needs to build a lot of things. ARNA needs to build blood testing laboratories, IT infrastructure, organizational infrastructure of the company. For that, we need certain resources, and we do this token event that is like crowdfunding.
So that is why. Who do you think will need ARNA services in the future?
Certainly, it's people who would like to take care about their health. We all know that even totally healthy person should go for diagnostics of different diseases annually, and we envision that most of customers of ARNA services in future will be healthy people. But of course, it's also everybody with history of breast cancer in the family.
Do you really think that ARNA BC test is so unique?
Well, we've done market research. We know what people do in this area. Again, there are a lot of competition doing things similar to us. Basically, we deal with a field called liquid biopsy. That's quite popular field. There are at least 15 companies in this field who claim this or that kind of success and advantage. But ARNA is ready to go into FDA compliant clinical trials like tomorrow, and we feel that we are on the front edge of this movement today.
And are these tests going to be cheap?
Well, cheap is philosophical. They are certainly going to be affordable, and they certainly will provide unique benefits. Interestingly, when we talk about prices, today we are unsure about prices because look, in token distribution event, we issue tokens that are non-financial measure. There is no actual price of this token. In future, of course, we will welcome customers, ARNA will welcome customers paying real money. So there will be some pricing of tests and the tokens, but it will be in the future. Today, we cannot even judge how it will happen, but what we know for sure, it will be very useful and very affordable.
Well, if ARNA BC development is already over, why ARNA Genomics needs more backers?
It's very simple. Yes, ARNA breast cancer test is developed and ready for commercialization, but ARNA Genomics is not stopping yet. We will develop much more tests. That's one area where we need backers. The second area is development of this infrastructure that will include, as I said, blood laboratories and IT infrastructure for ARNA PANACEA. All the things require support.
Can you provide us with some details of this groundbreaking research you've done?
Look, here we come to quite a huge topic. On the one hand, we already discussed what we do. We do blood test, we don't do BRCA genes testing, we don't do methylation testing, we don't do sequencing. That we disclose to explain that we are very innovative. We develop proprietary technology for gene amplification from the whole blood, and we developed proprietary set of oncology markers that are specifically indicative of breast cancer. That we can disclose. The rest we do not want to disclose today. We do not want to disclose it because we want to be responsible for the future potential and quality of this technology. If we disclose it, immediately we will have the wave, the hurricane of copycats that will produce lower quality and lower potential copies. So, and this creates a problem for us that we totally understand. Society in a whole and pharmaceutical industry is used to full disclosure. This disclosure is usually protected by patents. So people get used to it. We would like to convince people that not disclosing ARNA technology for a certain period of time is better for society. And let me mention to you that we clearly know that we will be responsible for quality and validity of our results and services. So we certainly will disclose our technology to governmental agents responsible for GLP audits and GMP audits. We will make this disclosure under NDA. But at this point, we will not disclose the entire technology neither to our patients, neither to doctors, neither to our backers.
So does it mean we're talking black box here?
Yeah, that's interesting that you brought this definition. You may define it as a black box, although black box is kind of negative. When you say black box, you talk about some
black magic.
Some black magic, magician predicting future, playing with astrology, with homeopathy. Of course, we are not like that. Again, we are based on solid science that will be disclosed quite soon. I already mentioned, and I will mention again and again, that we will go into formal clinical trials, formal FDA compliant process, and we will get clearance according to formal rules. Still, in a sense, yes, we will stay black box for a certain period of time. And here comes our blockchain application. Here comes ARNA PANACEA. So the whole point of ARNA PANACEA is not only to, the whole point of ARNA PANACEA is to improve social approach to healthcare, but the first application of ARNA PANACEA will be actually ARNA BC test validation in blockchain expert system.
What exactly is the value of the blockchain technology in your application?
Right. As you know, blockchain magic is decentralization of data, which gives you guarantee of transparency and inability to manipulate data. This is exactly what needed by modern healthcare, because as we all know, many patients don't believe official healthcare and clinical trials. I don't want to be negative here, but look, we have millions of people who use homeopathy, we have millions of people who go to magicians and witches, and I, as a professional in fact-based drug discovery and clinical trials, I feel pain about it. But I know I cannot fight these people. These people are part of society. These people are my citizens and peers. So what we do, we create ARNA PANACEA, the expert system that will allow these people to check the validity of pharmaceutical technologies themselves, make decisions for themselves, and in the end of the day, I hope that they will start believing official clinical data results because they will validate them themselves with ARNA PANACEA technology.
Do you really think that patients may or should be allowed to make their own judgment about their health status?
Not really. On the one hand, we are all free people. On the other hand, we healthcare professionals, we recommend people to go to doctors. People must go to doctor. It's recommended by FDA, it's recommended by all regulation bodies. So our goal with ARNA breast cancer test and with ARNA PANACEA system is to help people to make more informed decision about coming to doctor. That's the idea.
So can you tell us how exactly ARNA PANACEA is going to work?
Yeah. So look, again, the first test for ARNA PANACEA will be ARNA breast cancer test. So let me just explain ARNA PANACEA idea on the example of ARNA breast cancer test. So we have patients, mostly women patients, coming for testing to ARNA blood testing laboratory. During some period of time, for example, 2-3 months, we accumulate testing data. So each and every lady coming to the laboratory obtains either positive or negative result, and all this data goes into blockchain. All this data goes into blockchain-based expert system, ARNA PANACEA. After a certain period of time, let's say half a year or a year, the same ladies will be reporting back to us about the status of their breast cancer diagnosis and general health. At this point, we will also put all this information into blockchain. So, after a year, each and every user of our blockchain will be able to check by herself or himself in fully anonymous manner how many false positive and false negative we produced 1 year ago. This is the beauty and the magic of what we offer. People will be able to see it themselves and make a decision if they want to use ARNA BC test later or not. And as you may guess, in future, when we expect ARNA Panacea to other applications, we will expand the set of tests with colon cancer test, other diagnostic tests, and eventually maybe even homeopathy. We don't mind homeopathic doctors coming to ARNA Panacea system, putting into blockchain their patients, and we will altogether observe what happens to these patients in 1 year or 2 years after the start of treatment.
But how customers can be sure that ARNA breast cancer test works?
Yeah, in the beginning, of course, it will require some leap of faith, but it happens all the time. So, look, let me assure you that we will not bypass the official traditional way of pharmaceutical registration. We will submit ARNA BC for formal study by officials. We will go to clinical trials and registration process with FDA. However, in addition to that, we will create this expert system. So in the beginning, people who will be coming to us, they will be early adopters, backers, who would like to test this new technology the first and to obtain the earliest information about their health. Probably in financial terms, the early people who come will get better financial terms. But again, today we don't talk about financials. This whole talking story is non-financial. It's about, so there will be some people more interested and less interested. But in 1 year after we start building the infrastructure, maximum 2 years, people will have 2 independent sources for judging the validity of ARNA BC test. First source will be official FDA certification, and second test will be this expert system that we just discussed.
So what about the patient's privacy, our privacy?
Okay, blockchain is all about privacy. Blockchain became popular because of its privacy, and some people are scared by privacy of blockchain. Blockchain is anonymous, it is encrypted, and it is distributed. So when we create blockchain application, it's actually a piece of software, and in order to utilize patient data, we ask an approval from the patient, and patient provides this approval in terms of special encryption key. So, and the magic of ARNA Panacea platform will be distributing of proper pieces of data to those groups of people who are entitled to be aware of them. If certain group of people must not have access to certain information, confidentiality will be 100% guaranteed by blockchain technology. And by the way, in terms of social efficacy, this is another beauty of blockchain technology. By doing this crypto segregation of different groups of people, we will replace certain current agents playing in the market of clinical trials. For example, CROs. Part of CRO work today is to distribute information while keeping confidentiality, and now this job will be done automatically by ARNA Panacea system.
Well, does it mean that you are planning to replace this official trial system?
Oh, no, in no way. Again, I said it once already and I will repeat it again and again. We will go through FDA compliant clinical trials. We will not bypass it, we will not break it. What we create is a nice to have extension that will serve half of the market that today starts lacking trust into the official system.
So can your token distribution event be defined as an investment event?
Oh, certainly no. Certainly no. As we all know, crypto investments today are under pressure. Certain types of crypto investments are actually prohibited by United States Security and Exchange Commission and Chinese government. And we expect that this kind of regulation will cover the global economic sphere quite soon. We respect it, we don't find it. We issue clearly utility tokens. We issue tokens that will be exchanged for services in future. Again, I said we do crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is widespread and understood. The beauty of our system is that it is crowdfunding on a blockchain technology that provides more convenience, trust, and guarantees to all participants and backers.
Thank you, Dmitry. That was really interesting. Well, as my last question, I would like you to dream with me together. If everything you have planned will work for ARNA and for your products, what will happen to the product itself and to the global healthcare system? What do you think?
We all like to dream. So if we allow ourselves to dream, of course, we see quite extended usage model for what we create. In terms of biotechnology and diagnostics development, of course, we plan to use ARNA GENOMICS platform for developing diagnostics for many conditions. We already quite close to colon cancer diagnostics. Then we have good idea of several other cancer types we can diagnose, and then we can talk about non-oncological diseases that can be covered by our technology. Again, the beauty of our technology is proprietary amplification from the whole blood and proprietary set of markers accumulated during the 10 years of research. They can be applied quite widely. If we talk about ARNA PANACEA, if everything goes well, we would like to see the whole healthcare infrastructure based on our platform. We are pretty sure that patients will come quickly and they will be happy. First, because they receive very convenient storage of their data and tool to work with it. They will be able to share the data with family members, with doctors, with insurance companies. Then, new patients can validate the technology for themselves. They will not need to read scientific papers and clinical reports. They will check the open, encrypted, but open blockchain expert systems that will prove that during the last 1 or 2 years, the test was super reliable. So they will come. After a patient comes, doctors will come because they work with patients. After patients and doctors, insurance company will come and quickly realize that this exchange of tests and follow-up is very beneficial to them. Then I'm sure pharmaceutical companies will come because they will be interested in first seeing the patient profile for the disease, second, finding new patients for their clinical trials, and again, we will provide them data in highly encrypted fashion that will have 100% guarantee for personal anonymity and confidentiality of certain patients and disclosure of those patients who would like to work with pharmaceutical companies. After pharmaceutical companies, the entire industry will come. Developers will come, investors will come. So look, in my wildest dream, in 10 years from today, ARNA PANACEA will be a marketplace of pharmaceutical world.
So it truly is a panacea.
Absolutely is.